and please go forward with your questions, and we'll continue. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Senator Bozeman, I'm here today, Mr. Secretary, because I've got a particular problem that I'm trying to address, but it's ultimately going to come down to you. Here's what happened. Last December, we got hit by the biggest tornado we've ever had. It actually ended up being on the ground for over 200 miles. It hit and largely destroyed the town of Mayfield, which is the biggest grain storage facility in our state, completely wiped out. So, look, I want to thank you for what you all have already done to help on numerous occasions as we try to recover. But as part of the destruction, with its grain storage infrastructure gone in western Kentucky, not only do we lose millions of bushels of storage, we've got a problem that has to be fixed, or we're basically out of business this year. So what I did was put a provision in the appropriations bill that asks you to identify funding sources that we can address pretty quickly to not completely lose our ability to have storage for this year's crop. So I don't know whether you're already familiar with this or not, but I wonder if you have any awareness of it, and if you give me any assurance that maybe we can address this issue by your decision shortly.
Senator, I am aware. I know that our staff has been in touch with the Farm Bureau down in your state, as well as your own staff. I understand that there is an idea for a series of pop-up storage facilities there. I think there are some concerns about precisely how cumbersome that particular solution might be, but we are very committed to working as expeditiously as possible to provide an alternative and to provide the resources that will allow your farmers to have storage. Totally understand and appreciate the challenges that this presents, and we are committed to trying to get it resolved as quickly as possible.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's an emergency. The only other question I would ask, I suppose anybody at the table could also ask, and that is the this inflation issue that we're all hammered with. Amounts to well over $5,000 of increased costs annually, including $780 in additional costs for food. In a rural state like mine, and a lot of the members of this committee have similar states, small business and family farms are getting hit at both ends. And every single conversation I've had with farmers in the last year, the burden of increased input costs has been right in the forefront. One recent study from Texas A&M estimated that despite higher commodity prices, farm profits will drop by nearly 60% in 2022 due to these higher input costs. Since January of 2021, animal feed has increased by 43%, diesel fuel 115%, natural gas 202%, fertilizer 220%. Agencies like EPA, Interior, and others seem bent on driving these costs up even further. Have you worked with your colleagues across the administration to inform them how this regulatory onslaught is contributing to the burdens the farmers already have?
Senator, our focus at USDA is to try to figure out ways in which we can provide assistance and help on the number of issues that you've raised. First of all, we are looking at ways in which we can increase productive land going into production. Obviously, as Senator Bozeman indicated, supply does have a tendency, if you expand it, it has a tendency to help bring costs down and potentially increase income. Secondly, in terms of the fertilizer, there are a number of things that we're doing. We are working with farmers to make sure that they are fully aligned with the right application, the right time, the right location, the right amount. We have also provided a new risk management tool that encourages split application of nitrogen to reduce the cost to farmers with picking up the loss of productivity that may occur if they are unable to fertilize twice in a year. We also have allocated $500 million towards looking at a broad array of options in terms of how we might be able to expand fertilizer capacity in this country and not be as reliant and as reliant as we have been on outside sources for fertilizer. And we're also looking at a number of strategies in terms of ways in which we can better utilize precision agriculture to ensure that we are using fertilizer in the appropriate time and appropriate amount. So there's a series of things that we're doing. We're also, and I would only finish by saying, part of our responsibility is also to provide help and assistance to the families that, as you mentioned, are struggling. That's the reason why it's important to get the SNAP program where it is. It's important to continue to promote the WIC bonus buy that we have in our budget. It's appropriate to take a look at ways in which we can help our schools deal with the consequences of all of this. That's why we asked for a continuation for one more year of universal free school meals. We think that there are a number of ways in which we can provide help and assistance to families to get through this difficult time.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you very much.